fierce winds and dangerous flooding. We go inside a casino underwater. And now, the massive rainmaker heading to the northeast. Hence, protest play, the vice president walking out of an NFL game after some players kneel during the anthem. President Trump says he asked Pence to do it. Nasty exchange, the president unleashing a Twitter storm against a top Republican senator. That senator now calling the White House an adult daycare center. Justified force? The deadly encounter after officers stop a man on a bicycle, what police say he had in his hand, and why the suspect's family says they went too far. And school bus scare, students watching and a camera rolling as an angry man jumps on the hood demanding the driver stop.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Tom Yamas, and we begin tonight with Hurricane Nate. After taking lives in Central America, speeding across the Gulf, then slamming ashore not once, but twice. First, striking Louisiana, and then hitting Biloxi, Mississippi, with 85-mile-per-hour winds, part of the city underwater. And those winds spawning tornado warnings and waterspouts. This one in Orange Beach, Alabama. And tonight, the remnants of Nate, you see it there, drenching the south and heading towards the northeast. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in Gulfport, Mississippi.
10 p.m. local time, the winds picked up. After hours of wondering where this storm was, Hurricane Nate arrived on the Gulf Coast with 30-foot waves and winds near 85 miles an hour. By midnight, New Orleans knew it was safe and they were lifting their curfew. But in Biloxi, this was an emergency.
This is by far the strongest winds we've seen all night. The eye wall right here. We're about to enter the center of this storm.
12:30 a.m. It's high tide, and now we're seeing the storm surge from the forecasts. The parking decks of the casinos, the Beau Rivage, the Hard Rock Cafe, and the Golden Nugget were all flooded. Cars were bouncing around in 5 feet of seawater.
The storm surge has completely engulfed the first floor here.
There were 300 guests at the Golden Nugget. Today, the casino is open.
As you can see, we got remediation in place. Those folks will have that sheetrock tended to soon. We'll get these escalators back and running.
1 a.m., the storm surge crossed U.S. Highway 90, and now Alabama was seeing the storm surge too. Earlier, a large water spout was spotted in Orange Beach. Firefighters had to rescue a family of 4 from a home that was taking on water. ABC's Victor Okendo was in Birmingham this morning.
You can just see the rain just bouncing right off the street. And on the other side, look at those flags really blowing around in the wind.
The administrator of FEMA tonight says that the string of recent storms hitting the U.S. has been tough on the agency.
Of course, we're strained. The bottom line is that over nearly 85% of my entire agency is deployed right now. We're still working massive issues in Harvey, Irma, as well as the issues in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and now this one.
Crews are out tonight clearing roads. The cleanup is on.
And Steve Osunsami joins us now live from Gulfport, Mississippi. Steve, we just heard the FEMA director mention how they're stretched thin, and there's still a lot of time left in this hurricane season.
That's right, Tom. We're sort of at the end of the height of the hurricane season, but it actually continues until November 30th. And we've had a hurricane in November, some of them major and deadly. It is a good thing this one wasn't worse, Tom.
Definitely a good thing. All right, Steve, thank you. And we're not done with Nate just yet. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is here. And Rob, where's Nate headed next?
Well, it's going north and east. It's ripping along, but we've had a couple of reports of tornadoes with damage across South Carolina, Laurel and Pickens counties there, and the western part of that state still under the gun over the next couple of hours as this thing spins up across Kentucky over the Appalachians, and eventually into the northeast. We'll start to feel some of that rainfall later on tonight, and then tomorrow the rain really picks up. It'll be gusty as well, kind of a stormy day. So the eastern really third of the country, Tom, getting a piece of Nate the next 36 to 48 hours. It hangs with us.
All right, we'll be ready for that weather here. Now to a stunning move at an NFL game. Vice President Mike Pence staging a protest of his own. The vice president attending the Colts 49ers game today with his wife, walking out when members of the 49ers took a knee during the national anthem. And it was all at the direction of President Trump. Here's ABC's Ron Claiborne.
Tonight, the vice president reigniting the fury over the flag. Flying to Indianapolis from Las Vegas, Vice President Mike Pence stood with hand over heart as the national anthem was played before today's Colts-San Francisco 49ers game. On the field, several 49ers players took a knee. They left the stadium, back to the airport, and flew back to the West Coast. Minutes later, tweeting, "I left today's Colts game because POTUS and I will not dignify any event that disrespects our soldiers, our flag, or our national anthem." Pence's protest appeared planned. Reporters were warned that he were likely to kneel as their former quarterback Colin Kaepernick had started the protests last season, and a number of players have picked it up.
This is what systemic oppression looks like.
President Trump tweeting today, "I asked VP Pence to leave stadium if any players kneeled, disrespecting our country." It was Trump who fanned the flames at a rally in Alabama last month.
When somebody disrespects our flag, to say, "Get that son of a off the field."
The debate further roiled today by a report that Kaepernick, an unsigned free agent, up by any NFL team. Not true, says Kaepernick. "A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on," he tweeted, quoting Winston Churchill. And tonight, one Democrat, California Congressman Adam Schiff, questioning the vice president's travel all the way from Vegas to Indianapolis, only to leave that game early. Schiff saying taxpayer money was wasted on this stunt. Tom?
Ron Claiborne for us tonight. Ron, thank you. Sticking with politics now, President Trump also waging a new Twitter war with one of the most powerful Republicans in the Senate, blaming Tennessee's Bob Corker for negotiating the Iran nuclear deal and saying Corker doesn't have the guts to run for re-election. Corker firing back, calling the White House an adult daycare center. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega with the tensions inside the president's own party.
In President Trump's line of fire tonight, one of his own. After Republican Senator Bob Corker last week made this jab.
Secretary Tillerson, Secretary Mattis, and Chief of Staff Kelly are those people that help separate our country from chaos.
Today, the president fired back in a no-holds-barred Twitter punch, saying, "Senator Bob Corker begged me to endorse him for re-election in Tennessee. I said no, and he dropped out, said he could not win without my endorsement. Hence, I would fully expect Corker to be a negative voice and stand in the way of our great agenda. Didn't have the guts to run." Corker's office disputes the president's claims, saying the president is the one who offered the endorsement. And the senior senator who recently announced he will not seek re-election responded by going where most Republicans refuse to go, tweeting, "It's a shame the White House has become an adult daycare center. Someone obviously missed their shift this morning." It's not just members of the president's own party. He's also taking aim at a member of his own cabinet. In the wake of a report that Rex Tillerson called his boss a moron and threatened to resign, President Trump said of his Secretary of State,
We disagree on a couple of things. Sometimes I'd like him to be a little bit tougher, but other than that, we have a very good relationship.
At the center of their disagreement, whether to negotiate with North Korea, and the president issuing another vague threat about the one thing that will work with Pyongyang.
Well, you'll figure that out pretty soon.
And he's still refusing to clarify that ominous message he delivered while surrounded by his top military brass.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm. What's the storm?
Clarify your calm before the storm coming? Nothing to clarify.
Okay, nothing to clarify. Cecilia Vega joins us live from the White House. Back to that feud between the president and Republican Senator Bob Corker. That could create problems for the president's agenda going forward.
Yeah, Corker is on the powerful Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's on the Budget Committee. He will be essential to President Trump on issues like tax reform and Iran. Not a vote this president can afford to lose, Tom, as he struggles to pass his own agenda here in Washington.
Cecilia Vega for us at the White House tonight. Cecilia, thank you. Next, new images just in from the Las Vegas massacre. Investigators are taking another look inside the gunman's home tonight. It comes as we're learning new details about his final days and what may have been his undiagnosed psychiatric illness. Also tonight, the secret calculations on that handwritten note found inside his hotel room. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in Las Vegas.
Tonight, the FBI back at the Mesquite home of Las Vegas mass killer Stephen Paddock. Authorities say the new search warrant executed after interviews with the gunman's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley. Sources reveal investigators increasingly believe Paddock has severe psychiatric illness likely undiagnosed, describing Paddock as standoffish, disconnected, and antisocial. New chilling details about that note found near Paddock's Mandalay Bay perch. Officials say it contained handwritten numbers for wind, trajectory, and distance to maximize his shots and kills. One of the first responders telling 60 Minutes about the note.
The elevation he was on, the drop of what his bullet was going to be for the crowd. So he had that written down and figured out, so he would know where to shoot to hit his targets from there.
Authorities are interviewing people like Reno car dealer Scott Armstrong, who says he came face-to-face with Paddock 2 months ago.
He said he was terribly depressed and that his life was miserable.
Investigators are focused on Paddock's final days that included hours of gambling and hiring a prostitute. They're also focused on the period between September and October 2016, when Paddock started to build his arsenal, buying more than 30 guns.
He didn't talk to anybody. That's the scary thing about this shooter.
Paddock opened fire on that music festival 1 week ago. Cody Coffer protected his pregnant sister, never revealing he had been shot in the shoulder.
I knew I had been shot. I knew I was bleeding, and I didn't want anybody else to worry about it, so I just kind of sucked it up.
We hurt for you, and we hurt with you.
Jason Aldean, the country music star on stage during the deadly assault, honored the victims and survivors on SNL.
Powerful moment last night on that show. Kenneth joins us live from Las Vegas. And Kenneth, you're learning more on this latest search at the gunman's house in Mesquite, which was sparked by their interview with Paddock's girlfriend?
That's right, Tom. Sources say this has to do with information Mary Lou Danley gave to the FBI. So agents wanted to get back into that house and process it again to make sure they document and gather all potential evidence. Tom?
Kenneth Moten for us. Kenneth, thanks so much. An update tonight on the crisis in Puerto Rico. The mayor of San Juan slamming FEMA's response yet again, tweeting power collapses in San Juan Hospital with 4 patients being transferred out, have requested support from FEMA, nothing. And later, increasingly painful to understand the American people want to help and the U.S. government does not want to help. Today, FEMA Administrator Brock Long called the mayor's criticism political noise, saying FEMA is making progress every day working with the governor. Next, new trouble for movie mogul Harvey Weinstein after that bombshell report about alleged sexual harassment. Weinstein's absence from his company and losing a high-profile women's rights lawyer who was working as his advisor. Tonight, even President Trump is weighing in. ABC's Eva Pilgrim with the new developments.
Tonight, Hollywood grappling with the mounting sexual harassment scandal against Harvey Weinstein, one of the industry's power players. Weinstein, the studio head behind Pulp Fiction, Good Will Hunting, and Shakespeare in Love, considered a star maker. Meryl Streep highlighting his reputation at the 2012 Golden Globes.
I just want to thank my agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein.
But Weinstein taking an indefinite leave of absence from his company after a New York Times report detailing allegations female employees and movie stars, including Rose McGowan and Ashley Judd. McGowan tweeting, "Anyone who does business with is complicit, and deep down you know you are even dirtier. Cleanse yourselves." Judd telling the New York Times, "We're talking about Harvey amongst ourselves for a long time, and it's simply beyond time to have the conversation publicly." Even the president speaking about Weinstein's troubles.
I've known Harvey Weinstein for a long time. I'm not at all surprised to see it.
Exactly a year after the release of the infamous Access Hollywood tape that brought his own behavior with women in question.
That's locker room. That's locker room.
Weinstein has vowed to sue the Times, calling the article reckless reporting and full of false and discredited allegations, but admitted to ABC News he is working with a therapist. "I'm trying to do better. I know I have." 2 of Weinstein's legal advisors, including Lisa Bloom, resigning. Bloom tweeting Saturday, "My understanding are moving toward an agreement." Tom?
Eva Pilgrim with those new developments tonight. Eva, thank you. And there's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. Body cam video of police fatally shooting a suspect released. Now the outraged family wants to know why the officers were